Good evening, and welcome to the Post-Meridian Radio Players podcast. I'm Detective Sergeant Sargent, and I'm hot on the trail of the regular host of this podcast, one Nick Scratch, who disappeared from Irene's basement somewhere near Boston. I think I'm getting close. Twice now, I've seen a shadowy figure in the distance, but he was gone by the time I caught up. And then, there's the trail of Funyun wrappers. I'm not sure where he's getting all the Funyuns, but that's another mystery I have to solve. But for now, let's reach into the PMRP vault and see what we have for this week. Not what I would have chosen, but alright. It's an adventure of that notorious criminal, Arsène Lupin. Arsène Lupin was the creation of French author Maurice Leblanc. His take on a gentleman thief genre that had proved so popular with readers. Stories featuring clever gents who operate outside the law, yet whose actions helped rather than hurt all involved. First published in 1905, Lupin proved to be an immediate success with French readers. Feeling untouchable, Leblanc audaciously wrote a crossover adventure with Sherlock Holmes without asking permission. When Conan Doyle objected, Leblanc merely changed the name of Lupin's adversary to Sherlock Sholmes and continued to write new stories featuring the two adversaries. Here now is Chris Chiappa's adaptation of one such encounter. This is The Mysterious Traveler.
Rushing for a train is difficult as an old man. The shuffling step, the reliance on a cane. Worse still, the part of the platform my train was on had no roof, and it was clear it would be raining any moment. To throw it all off and be young again. But it's not that easy, is it? Still, I was nearing my cars, then compartments open to the platform and anyone with the right ticket. The closest contained a gaggle of men, their number impossible to count thanks to the thick, gray smoke their cigars and pipes had managed to fill it with, even with the doors wide. I grimaced and moved on. The next had a lady inside turned from the window. I headed that way.
Do you need help?
I looked up at the honeyed voice and found a woman to match. Bright eyes and a brighter smile. Slightly tanned, suggesting she had seen time in more tropical climates, and auburn hair gathered under a broad hat. Now, for a completely different reason, I cursed my gray beard and bowed back.
No, mademoiselle. Thank you for your kind offer, but allow me my vanity. I can still conquer stairs, if nothing else. Much better. Thank you again, young lady, for your offer. So rare to see anyone be polite to their elders these days. I am Guillaume Berla, formerly colonel, formerly man of business now, merely retired and on my way to Rouen. And who may you be?
A baker, Celeste Baker. Formerly many things, but mostly a traveler. Also Rouen-bound, at least for now.
I see. Now, the question, what is your origin?
Whatever do you mean?
Your French is impeccable, but there's a slight tinge that betrays you as foreign, though I barely caught it.
Oh, thank you. I'm American myself, from New Jersey. I learned my French from a Parisian nanny who learned her English from a Scotsman.
Her accent must have been astounding.
It transcends description, I assure you.
Our conversation carried on pleasantly, and I contrived a reason to switch my seat from across the aisle to sit next to her. Her perfume was subtle and completely exotic. Japanese, if I wasn't entirely mistaken. This was a woman of the world, traveling entirely alone. Who was she? I had to know. I was trying to figure out how to prise the information from her as inconspicuously as possible when the whistle sounded. We were about to get underway. I would have ignored it if not for a sudden commotion from the platform, which ended with a man quite literally leaping into our compartment just before the door was shut. There was an uncomfortable pause as the newcomer let his eyes wander over the both of us. But his gaze lingered over the woman, and a small curl appeared on the edge of his lip that I did not like at all.
Good afternoon, young sir. Well done, you only just made the train, it would seem.
This brought his gaze back to me momentarily. He was a tough at best. His gruff appearance and the bandages in sticking plaster above his left eye and on his right hand in no way matching his fairly decent clothing.
Afternoon.
It is, yes.
See here, I've got a ticket.
Did I accuse you of not having one?
No, but it don't take a Sherlock Holmes to know you don't think I belong here. Well, I got a ticket. Bought all proper at the counter before you go accusing me of something. Got as much right to be here as you and the old toff.
Toff? See here, young man.
I congratulate you on your good fortune, sir, at the billiard tables last night, and in the fight afterwards.
What?
Oh, the term, I believe, is sharping. Pretending to be a poor billiard player to convince some brash fellow into a high-stakes match, and then revealing extraordinary skill at the game. Isn't that how you made your fare?
How do you figure?
The smooth spots under your index and on top of your middle fingers. They're the only smooth spots on your hands. This suggests not only a billiard player, but an habitual one. The game must have been last night because of the telltale splotches of blue-green Q-chalk visible on your coat hem. Even without washing, the stains would not last more than a day or so. Your bandages are fresh, but the wound's very localized. A drunken tumble would have done more damage. You were hit, judging by the cut above the eye. And you hit back, judging by the cuts on your right hand and the bruises on both knuckles. It would seem your retribution was worse than what you were given.
Our new companion dropped down into his seat with a sneer and said nothing else. He looked out the window petulantly, looking for all the world like a child told he couldn't have a sweet.
I think you were right.
I know I was.
Funny he should have mentioned the late Detective Holmes, only to have you use a trick not unlike his own. Did the master detective have a protege Dr. Watson failed to report?
No, I merely followed the good doctor's chronicles of his and Holmes's adventures like everyone, and picked up a few tricks.
Extraordinary. If everyone could pick up methods from stories so easily, we would have a world without crime.
Would we? Some may turn the skills to crime, such as your nation's Arsène Lupin.
The gentleman thief. From what I hear of his exploits, he may already have such skills. Is something the matter, young man?
Arsène Lupin? Gentleman, nothing. Ain't no criminal with as much success as he has, and as big a network as he has, that doesn't also have enough blood on his hands to make the devil flinch. They say he owns newspapers. Only reason such a rosy picture gets painted of him is that. Anyone who thinks they can turn their back on Arsène Lupin and not get a dagger stuck in it is a damned fool.
Oh, nonsense. All you would risk is perhaps finding yourself deprived of a few francs.
They say he and Holmes crossed paths once.
And I have heard the thief bested the detective.
So say all Frenchmen. It is a point of pride. But all Englishmen claim it is a lie and say to one another how sad it is that the French must find a hero in a criminal.
And what do you Americans say?
I say Holmes bested Lupin.
Don't much matter anymore, do it? The old busybody is dead now. Good riddance.
Well, see here, show some respect. Sherlock Holmes was a great man, and even ne'er-do-wells such as yourself can see that.
Psh, no one's as clever as all that. If Holmes ain't just fake, that Watson fool done exaggerated his brains. Tumbled off a cliff fighting some professor 40 years his senior. Man's supposed to be an expert fighter, ain't he? I say he was drunk and took a tumble. Probably just in Switzerland having unnatural relations with his biographer. What the? Who do you think you are, hitting me?
I think I am someone who already asked you to show some respect for the dead.
The tough rose slowly, and while I had realized he was tall before, actually seeing him at his full height alongside another person drove home his sheer size.
You're lucky I don't hit women.
I'm sorry, I'm confused. If you don't, in fact, hit women, and I must say, I doubt the truth of that statement, then what is this display for? You could have said as much without rising, without tensing your hand. Is it so I quail and flinch before you? Does it make you feel powerful? Do you remember moments like this when some woman has made you feel less than entirely masculine?
I'll kill you!
I'm not sure what you are planning, you lummox, but how about you just sit down and stay quiet until we get to Rouen? Or would you like to see if this old soldier still has ways with a blade?
You wouldn't be so daring if you knew who I was.
I'm sure. Now, apologize, and then maybe wander to the dining car. Have a coffee. Relax a little.
Fine. Begging your pardon verily, madame, for my transgressioning against you.
A sword cane?
A gentleman occasionally needs protection.
Well, thank you for your assistance. Though I was never in any danger from the brute.
I do not doubt that. Forgive an old man his impulses.
No need to ask forgiveness. Still, you seem rather healthy. You were so spry.
Yes, I will likely regret that come morning.
With regards to our original conversation before that brute interrupted, are you aware that Arsène Lupin has sent one of his famous threats against this very train?
Ah, yes. He is fond of announcing his thefts before carrying them out. I hear he has never failed.
Never failed in an announced theft, no, but I hear rumors he doesn't announce them all. Just the ones where the turmoil caused by a Lupin declaration will aid his plan.
I believe he is said to be after Clerk's Pen, the world-famous racehorse.
Yes, but how does one steal a horse? It doesn't fit easily into a bag.
Neither does an entire art collection, but he managed that just fine once. I would imagine.
The young lady and I chatted a bit longer. Our companion showed no sign of returning, and I hoped he would not for the rest of the trip. Gradually, the regular sound of the train made me weary, and I had soon drifted off to sleep.
You have no idea who you've crossed.
That's my line, sweetheart.
Yes, but mine is not just the idle threat of a common thief.
Look, the old toff ain't gonna jump to your rescue this time. So how's about you shut that pretty mouth of yours before I bloody it?
Oh, so you do hit women. A thief and a liar, then.
I had been drugged. There was no doubt about that. But I was not too sure at first if what I was hearing was real or part of some dream I was coming out of. I also slowly became aware that I was not entirely free. My ankles and wrists were bound by sturdy rope. A quick glance showed Miss Baker in the same predicament, surrounded by the contents of her baggage which had been strewn about the car, presumably by our companion. He, meanwhile, stood before us, an exceedingly large knife in one hand that he let sway back and forth, brushing our cheeks just delicately enough to not quite break the skin.
I say, what the devil is going on?
Ah, the toff's awake. Good.
This idiot appears to be robbing us.
How dare you call Master Thief Arsène Lupin an idiot?
Excuse me?
That's right. I am Arsène Lupin. A pleasure to make your valuables acquaintance.
What? Get your hands off me. What do you... Return my wallet at once.
Arsène Lupin is a rogue, you're just a crook. You're no more Lupin than I'm Queen Victoria.
Never meet your heroes, love. I told you I weren't no gentleman. Now, I'll be taking those jewels and that handbag.
Oh, take what you like.
In that case...
The tough leaned down and forced his mouth onto Miss Baker's.
Swine.
No!
But she did not tolerate his advances for long.
Cur! You bit my tongue!
And I'll do well worse when I'm out of this.
I'll be out of here well before you, sweetheart.
Oh, and how's that? Arsène Lupin should have a daring plan.
A plan don't need to be daring. Just needs to work.
You damned fool! You made me fall!
Emergency brakes. Some plan.
Worked, didn't it?
It has only worked once you've gotten away.
Damn. Rain stopped for now, but could start up again any minute. Looks like I'm taking one more thing then, lady.
No, no, please. Not my umbrella.
Huh? You didn't bark that much when I grabbed your jewels. What's so special about it?
It has sentimental value. Something I'm sure you not understand.
Sure. Sentimental value. Well, now you've something better. A story of being robbed by Arsène Lupin.
You jabbering idiot. You're not Arsène Lupin. He is.
What?
Madam, I don't know why you're looking at me.
Pull on his beard.
This is ridiculous.
I agree. Wait, why are you walking over here then? Ow!
Harder, you ass. He's a professional. He's going to be on with spirit gum, not string.
Really, madam, I don't know what I've done to deserve. Ow! Ow!
Oh my God!
Well, what is it you Americans say? The jig is up.
Oh God! Arsène Lupin! Arsène Lupin!
Well, that accomplished exactly nothing.
Well, I was hoping he'd forget my umbrella and his confusion.
What is so important about that umbrella? And who in the world are you? You may not be the queen, but I'm rather doubting you're just some random woman.
Well, it's only fair since I know who you are. My name is Irena Adler.
What? No. Holmes told me all about you.
When?
He and I had a very nice dinner once after our paths crossed. I doubt he told anyone about it, including Dr. Watson. Yes, he discussed you at length. There we go. I'm free.
What? A knife in your sleeve?
Yes. Though if anyone asks, the ropes were just frayed already, and that is how an old man broke out.
Why are you putting the beard back on? Get your legs free and then untie me.
Because someone will be around eventually. We need to report this thief, and I need to be Guillaume Berlat when they get here. You sit tight, they can free you when they do.
I have to get after him.
Yes, that precious umbrella. What is it then?
That is confidential. Though not a complete lie when I said it was sentimental, that's actually a part of it.
Really?
Yes.
Damn. Fine. What sort of gentleman would I be if I didn't assist a lady in retrieving an item of sentimental value?
I had her free in a moment. I grabbed what few items of Guillaume Berlat's that I actually wanted, the cane among them, and then we were off, standing in a very empty field.
Bless the rain. He's left tracks in the mud.
Yes, but there's a proper road not far down. Hopefully he didn't have the foresight to take that.
It seems the tracks are following the side of the train for now. Come on.
Perhaps there's something you can clear up for me.
Yes.
How on earth did our fake Lupin manage to capture us both?
He burst into the room and put his knife to my throat. I had to sit there while he put his handkerchief over your mouth. You actually woke up for a moment before passing out again. I was wondering if you would remember it.
Not at all. Chloroform, I'd imagine. And then?
He pressed it to my face. I came to bound.
Cad. But no mere criminal. Stop. Who comes aboard a train with chloroform and ropes?
The man is clearly a criminal. No Lupin, of course, but certainly a crook.
Still, even I don't have the tools of my trade with me at all times.
So he had need for them. And if he had some sort of job they were for, he would not have used them on us simply out of spite.
And he did not know I was Lupin. And as Guillaume Berlat was a recent invention of mine, no one could have designs on him, which makes you the target. Is Celeste Baker a false identity you use often? Could she have enemies?
She is new like your Berlat, which means he was chasing after Irena Adler the entire time, which means,
yes? You had a thought.
Which means I'm in danger. Forgive me if I find that disconcerting.
Apologies, madam. So he was not seeking to rob you of valuables, but something else. That was why he ransacked your luggage while I was unconscious. Something he had assumed might be in your luggage or purse, but now believes is in your umbrella. So all of this was planned, including, I imagine, his straightforward escape.
The question, then, is did he have a plan for if he was followed?
And if he did, is he lying in wait with his knife somewhere?
But there's nowhere to hide.
Nowhere save the train itself. The footsteps continue on for some time, it would seem, along the train's length. But at any point ahead, he could have climbed around the coupling and now be coming this way down the other side. Or waiting between two cars, hoping to ambush us. Come.
Where are you going?
Hoping that he is as stupid as he sounds and that his plans come from someone else.
Which means?
Which means he would not be able to adapt on the fly to the presence of a second adversary when he was expecting only one.
Fine, but where are you going then?
Just the next space between cars. Here we are. And now, you get back inside. Wait somewhere with a crowd, the dining car, or find a compartment with lots of people in it. Make small talk. I'm heading for the roof.
Oh, I see. Well, good luck. Do make sure to get the umbrella back. The fool can keep everything else if he wants.
I have yet to fail in a promise to a lady.
You've not actually promised me anything yet.
Yes. No one's ever caught me in that one before. Back soon.
As I pulled myself up onto the train, I began to try and gather my thoughts. The day had most certainly taken an odd turn. I'd just been on the train to steal a horse, a simple enough affair, and suddenly I was caught up in some grudge between unknown forces and one of the late Sherlock Holmes's most famous cases. Maybe the turn of events would have been less frustrating were I not already in the midst of a scheme of my own when they happened. but I was not entirely sure.
Now, my tall friend, you will find that it is never wise to misuse the name Arsène.
Lupin, talking to yourself.
What? I thought...
If you genuinely thought I was going to trust you on your own to obtain my item, then you were not paying very close attention at your dinner with Holmes.
Actually, I was. But I was hoping, well, I don't know, that...
That you were somehow special? That I would listen to you because... Why, exactly? What separates you from Sherlock Holmes? The fact that you operate on the wrong side of the law? You do me injustice to assume I'm always on its right side, then. Come along, my umbrella won't reclaim itself.
She is even more willful than you made her sound, Sherlock. Well, do hold on. Miss Adler, I fail to see why you even need me along.
I'm confident, but not stupid, Lupin. Our thief is a large fellow, and one I'm certain I cannot take on my own in a direct confrontation. Since I cannot guarantee taking him off his guard, better to even the odds. 2 against, well, let's call him 1.5, shall we?
It would seem making him extra grand in our minds may not be the best tactic for when we inevitably face him.
Come, doesn't Arsène Lupin enjoy a challenge?
Within reason. I dislike going into a situation without some planning and research.
Nonsense. If you didn't get a thrill from the occasional unexpected challenge, you'd have turned that mind of yours to security and not the undoing of it. You will never convince me you've not come across plans that went awry before.
Well, certainly, but then
And even the backup plans failed.
That goes without saying, of course,
And
but...
you were just about to go into a fight with our tough one-on-one with just as little planning.
Yes, you are quite right. But then I only had to worry about myself. You are a new factor to consider, and we've never worked together, which means I cannot be sure how you will react to any given situation.
Brilliantly, I assure you.
Holmes never did accuse you of modesty.
We are approaching the end of this car. Would you like to glance over, or should I?
Oh, please, feel free. Oh, but take this.
What is that? I already have a compact. What do you...
Open it.
What is this? Not a compact, but something else. An extendable bit of canvas on a hinged frame. Oh, a travel periscope. How novel. Where do I get one for myself?
Keep it. I've got several.
Oh, much appreciated. Now, let me just get close to the edge here and lay flat. No sign of our man between these cars.
Let me look over the side and see if he's coming back around the other way. Nothing. And no sign of anyone moving towards the road. So it would seem likely he's hiding between different cars.
What if he's ducked into one?
I'm hoping he wants to avoid the train staff since he pulled the cord and now has what is clearly a woman's umbrella on him, which may look suspect.
You really think anyone would be worrying about that after being surprised by the emergency stop?
I would. Anyway, presumably whatever his escape plan is, it would not involve him being in the train. In fact, considering he seemed worried about the train starting up again, that would seem to guarantee he intended to be outdoors.
What about under the train? Perhaps he has some way to attach himself underneath one of the cars. We'd never think to look for him in Rouen.
True. But no, if his plan was always the emergency brake, then he'd know a thorough check of the train would be made that would possibly involve the undercarriage.
And he knew I'd be found at some point, so I'd report the robbery. Getting away from here as quickly as possible would be the only path.
Exactly. I'd not be surprised if he had a horse and carriage waiting. A horse? Arsène, you jabbering fool!
What is it?
The clerk's pen! That brigand is going to use my horse to escape!
He's not your horse!
He was going to be until this blasted fellow ruined everything. End of the car. I can jump across the gaps. You can catch me up.
Nonsense!
What the devil are you... Oh. Secret trousers under the skirt. I see.
I find it sensible to always have pants at the ready. Real activity is rather hard in a dress. Now let's go. A few steps back to build up a head of steam, and then we jump. Will our cook actually be able to get his hands on the horse? Surely they've increased their watch over it due to your threat.
I'm sure he has a plan, or was given one.
Anyway, yours could counteract his.
No, right now I'm the only part in place. Hold on, another gap. The other components are going to be joining during stops along the line.
Well, that's a shame. What about... Look! There he is climbing onto that car, and he still has my umbrella.
I say, false Lupin.
Where did that derringer come from?
Up the sleeve that my knife wasn't. Too far, though, I hit him, but he barely felt it.
Got his attention, however. Here he comes. Any more shots?
No, but I have my cane. Be ready to get your umbrella if he drops it in the fray, but for God's sake, stay out of it. I can't risk hitting you.
I'll hold off this time.
This was supposed to be easy. Damn you both!
Be careful, his knife!
Use strength, Tony Lupin, but no finesse.
Don't need finesse to kill a man. You're just as dead either way once I get my blade into your heart.
Ha, if you can.
Watch me!
Ha. You had quite the lead on us, phony Lupin. How did you arrive here so late?
Tried cutting through one of the cars. Some nosy spinster wanted to know why I had a woman's umbrella. Almost got me pinched by a conductor with her screeching. Managed to give her the slip just in time.
I do not believe it.
I will say, you handle the blade excellently. We seem to be at an impasse. I can't recall the last time I faced someone so skilled. Who are you?
Pierre Onfray.
I've heard of you. The assassin of La Fontaine Street. What a shame.
Oh,
Thought I might offer to let you join me in return for the umbrella. But my league has no need for a man who would slay a helpless woman and her 2 daughters. He's dropped the umbrella, Miss Adler. Get it.
Right. He's waving that knife of his too violently. I can't. Oh, watch it, Onfray.
back! I can't see, but that won't stop me slicing you. What was that?
I keep a little soot and black pepper in a small bowl behind my lapel sometimes. Shoots through the buttonhole. Mostly use it as cover in a theft, but it works well in a fight. Dirty pool, but someone of your sort doesn't deserve anything better.
Ah!
Watch out!
Onfray lunged at me with terrific force, still blinded by the mess in his eyes, but finding me from my voice. A lesson in hubris right there, and the last one I'd have learned if I'd not been quick. I just dodged his blade, though he did manage to slice a cut into the side panel of my coat as he passed. A quick blow to the back of his neck sent him tumbling face first into the train's roof, and his knife fell from his grip.
Get your umbrella.
Got it.
Now, Onfray, what was your business here?
What are you... Ow!
That pressure you feel is the tip of my sword only just pressing into the back of your neck. So don't try anything funny.
Amazing. Everything accounted for, the boss said. We had eyes on the woman, eyes on the horse, eyes on the man we thought was Lupin.
Oh, you must mean Victor Dorian.
Who?
One of my operatives meant to serve that very role. He bears a striking resemblance to what certain newspapers say Arsène Lupin looks like.
What newspapers? You don't really own newspapers, do you?
Oh, no. Their chief editors are simply on my payroll, and occasionally insert minor falsehoods into their publications on my behalf.
Unbelievable.
You kept saying we, Onfray. Who's we? Who's your boss?
None of your business, Slattern. Ah!
That is my blade pressing slightly harder into your neck. You're going to be polite from here on in. No matter what opinion you may hold of Miss Adler's willingness to use extreme methods, keep in mind it is Lupin who holds the sword.
You wouldn't really, would you?
Come, Miss Adler. You yourself said you're not always on the side of the law.
Ah!
But there are limits.
So you're not a gentleman, like I thought. Seems it ain't always nice to be right.
This man killed 3 innocent people for reasons that have never been entirely clear. He would have hung from the neck until dead already for the crime had he not been broken from prison by unknown allies several days before his scheduled execution. Really, I'll be doing the job of the law. I might get a medal. In absentia, of course, since I'm currently avoiding my own prison sentence. Now, Onfray, what is it you want?
Ah, evidence. The colonel wants to know where...
Miss Adler! Good God, you're lucky I didn't flinch when you hit him with your umbrella's handle, or I might have actually stabbed him. He was unarmed, prone, and my prisoner. I hope you didn't actually think I would have killed him.
Well, depending on who you ask, Arsène Lupin is either a jolly gentleman crook or one of the most hardened criminals in the world. I've never believed the latter, but I had to assume the worst.
I will have you know my more severe reputation mostly comes from my editors, like my many faces. Why did you knock him out? Didn't you want information from him?
He said just enough for me to understand.
What was he about to say that you didn't want me to hear?
Well, I didn't want you to hear it, did I?
Miss Adler, I have risked my safety and lost a very fresh false identity today. One I had established an extensive fictional history and friends for. That was intended to serve me very well for some time to come. The amount of effort lost just because of that is almost incalculable. There is no amount of money that can make up for it. So I want to know what is going on.
You don't frighten me, Lupin.
I'm not trying to frighten you.
I might believe you if your sword were put away.
Oh. There. Now, I was just attempting to impress upon you what today has meant to me in hopes that you would repay my curiosity.
You were trying to make me feel guilty.
When you put it that way, it sounds childish. But it's not that simple. Attempting to sate one's curiosity is the only thing that keeps the human race going. What are research and exploration but curiosity? What is philosophy but curiosity about existence itself? When one creates or performs, it is to find the answer to that burning question, can I move other people with my work? Even my thefts, everything, the monetary gain even, is secondary to my curiosity. Can I manage my theft? Can I epitomize audacity? Am I still Lupin, or is it time to revert to who I was?
Oh, very good. Very nice. Does that speech work often?
It has made a friend or two believe me terribly deep, yes. Well, I see there's no changing your mind. I may as well be on my way.
You're not going to join me for the rest of the ride. You could put your disguise back on.
No, but Onfray knows it's false now. And there would be awkward questions as to where an elderly soldier had gotten during the crisis.
It's a long walk to the nearest town.
But a short ride.
What was that?
Backup plan. Well, backup to the backup. Much less elegant than the actual theft would have been, alas.
Well, now what was...
A small section of roof was a pressure plate, inserted by my men when they snuck into the train yard last night. This activated a small box containing a mild sleeping gas I had also given them to install. Enough to knock a full-grown man out for 10 or so minutes, but do little more than make a horse in its prime of life somewhat woozy for a few moments. So those thumps were the guards passing out. I'm somewhat afraid they'll have unpleasant headaches when they come to. I've not been able to work out that side effect. So, my apologies.
For what?
Your headache. Oh, dash it all!
What was that?
Another bulb containing a dose of the sleeping gas doing its work below, intended for you.
Your little gadget seems to have backfired, Lupin. Foiled by your own toys.
Just not my day.
Well, stop stumbling around. You're going to fall off the edge of the train if you're not careful. Just sit.
No!
Lupin! Oh, we've got you.
Yes, Miss Adler. Good catch.
Wait, are you all right? Oh!
Seems you dropped your umbrella, Miss Adler.
Lupin! Get back here! Oh, he's already off the edge of the car. No. Oh, I have to get after him. Can't see in. No window on this door. Oh, if he's doing what I think. Oh! Lupin!
Farewell, Miss Adler. It has been fun.
Irena Adler. Not quite as thrilling as facing off against the late Detective Holmes himself, but a very close second. A shame we had to part on such terms. She'll likely hate me from here on out. Ah, well. The things we sacrifice to satiate our curiosity.
Now, to the umbrella. If I'm careful, I can probably get it open while I keep an eye on my new horse's course. Surely there's a false compartment in the handle or the shaft. It is a bit thick for an umbrella stem. The letters. Whoa! Dated last month from Barcelona. My dear Miss Adler, it was a pleasure seeing you in Bern, albeit briefly. My work continues apace, thanks in no small part to the information you and Brother Mycroft have been able to provide. Brother Mycroft? No. Unfortunately, the most recent revelations you have provided have proven to me that dismantling the remaining components of the late Professor Moriarty's criminal network will take longer than I had initially hoped. Therefore, I must continue to take advantage of the freedom provided by my presumed death. Please continue to send back word of Inspector Lestrade, Mrs. Hudson, and, of course, John. Keeping him deceived has been more difficult than I thought it would have been, and may have been impossible had you not discovered the truth of my situation last August. Now, instructions on how to get in touch with me follow. I shall be in Italy for the time being. Send all correspondence care e auditore to the address below, standard signs on the envelope. Your aid is always as invaluable to me, and I only hope I can adequately repay you someday. Yours sincerely. By God. I need a pen.
Yeah! Can I trust him? What will someone like Arsène Lupin do with... Hello? What's that sound? A horse? Oh, could it be...
Whoa! Good lad, clerk's pen.
Lupin.
Sherlock Holmes is alive.
Yes.
I must admit, like Onfray, I thought the story of his losing to an old man in one-on-one combat seemed a bit anticlimactic. Catch?
Oh, my umbrella. And my letters.
Keep that information safe. Life as a respectable criminal in Europe was terribly difficult with that old devil Moriarty in action. After I refused to join with him, he did everything he could to undermine me. Things have been almost dull since Holmes took him out, but I still don't want someone taking the old snake's place. Better every last possible heir be nipped in the bud. Besides, once Holmes's work is done, I presume the detective will be looking for new challenges, and I'm the biggest name in European crime these days. So send him my best, and let him know his secret is safe with me, with one caveat.
Which is?
In an extra letter you will find in your umbrella. Au revoir.
Let's see. Mr. Holmes, first allow me to welcome you back to the land of the living and congratulate you on a job well done with the remainder of your late nemesis's network. Second, within 6 months of your return, I will begin work on my most daring robbery to date. In fact, I am almost reticent to pursue this target, as there is little, perhaps nothing, that could ever top it in the public mind. And yet you deserve something wonderful. And so let it be known that I have set my sights upon... Oh, no, he can't be serious. Let it be known that I have set my sights upon the crown jewels of England, and shall be liberating them from that dreary tower in which they have been so unfairly trapped. Yours, in all sincerity.
Arsène Lupin, gentleman thief.
The Mysterious Traveler featured Michael Lynn as Arsène Lupin, Austin Wright as Irina Adler, and myself, Joëv Dubach, as Pierre Onfray. Our Foley artists were Dave Barker and Naomi Hinchin. The show was adapted and directed by Chris Chiampa, based on an original story by Maurice LeBlanc, and featuring additional material from the work of Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. Jay Sikora and Jeremy Holstein were our sound team, digital sound design was by Brad Smith, and artistic direction was provided by Caitlin Mason. Our stage manager was Jake Marino, and Chris DeCall was our producer.
Ah, can't believe that criminal got away. He wouldn't have if I were on the case. In 2 weeks, we'll be bringing you another episode of the sci-fi parody series Red Shift, entitled The Upgrade Ultimatum. Well, no idea what a red shift is, but I guess I'll be finding out. If you like what you hear, you can check out more about the PMRP at their website, pmrp.org, or their Bandcamp store, pmrp.bandcamp.com. This is Detective Sergeant signing off for now, and never fear, I'll be on the case.
This has been a production of the Post Meridian Radio Players, copyright 2024. All rights reserved. For more information about our group, please visit www.pmrp.org.